the right place for you. This is the right place for me. This is the right place for dreams. This is the right place to be alive, to be free, to live a dream, to feel that you're real. This is the right place for you. This is the right place for me. This is the right.
Hi guys, I'm Gloria. Welcome back to Famous Fido TV. We're in the Savannah room again today, and we are going to be talking about many things. One is owner surrender. All these cats in here. This is Eva, Maggie. The cats in the Savannah room have all been owner surrendered. What owner surrender means is that they give them up to shelters. An animal should never have to go to shelters. They get very stressed out. They don't know what has happened. Some of them have been in their houses for many, many years. And then they have to get used to a new environment. So what we're trying to do with the Savannah room is create an atmosphere to enrich these cats and dogs so that they're not just kept in small cages, and that they have a life till they get their forever homes. They're going to be having, we have about 10 more things coming for the Savannah room. They have the big kitty gym coming and a beautiful cat tree. They have fresh water from the drink well fountain. And it's just a great thing to be here and not be in a shelter in a cage, or be out in the street, or be in a bad home. So when you get a cat or dog, it's forever. It's not just throwing them away like they're garbage. See you soon. This is Eva. Eva's in the Savannah room right now. Sometimes she gets to be a crabby cat. There were two sisters at an open door shelter, and unfortunately someone committed suicide, and the other rescue took the other cat, but Eva was left, and she would not be an adoptable cat. She's a special needs cat. We're watching another cat do acrobats right now. But rehoming, so one thing that we want to talk about is, think about when people need to think about when they get animals, it's forever. But if they have a circumstance where they have to give up their animal, it should never be in a shelter. Rehoming should be the first step. And rehoming would be, what we do here is we work with a lot of interventions, and we talk to people about rehoming their animals into homes. We get applications, we screen people, we check out where the animal would be going, and we make sure it's a special fit. Like if you have a crabby cat, somebody has to deal with Eva and give her a lot of time. And there's not a lot of people that want to do that. There's special people for special needs animals. And at Famous Fido, there's a lot of special needs animals. And that's why Famous Fido is so important, because we take the time to learn about these animals, find out what their quirks are, and what kind of home that they might need. So interventions are really important. Many people might not understand what an intervention is, but many people can't take care of their animals. They need medical care, they need housing, they may be moving, and then they can't have their animal anymore. So we do a lot of interventions, and what the thought process is on this is to keep animals out of the shelter. These people have to be constantly be worked with, mentored, talked to. They have to have resources, and they have to have backup. Intervention, we think we just did about 3 interventions this week. Someone that was going to surrender an animal to Famous Fido named Chewy that had a terrible skin problem. And many of these animals have nowhere to go because no vets to go to because they don't have the money to pay for the vetting. And many of these animals would not have any place to go if there wasn't a place like Famous Fido, because we try to keep these animals from going into shelters and talk to the people on an ongoing basis with counselors and myself. and some of them we have to bring here, and some of the interventions are surrendered. But the idea of it is a really good way not to have animals go into shelters, and there's just too many. Hi, adoption is another thing we talk about a lot here at Famous Fido. It's important not for us not to trade animals off and just work on, getting thousands of animals into homes, because the cycle doesn't stop. We never break the cycle. We just have people surrender animals, bring them to shelters, get them homes, and it goes around and around. So one of the things that's very important to stop the cycle is adoption. We try to be as careful as possible on where animals go. We screen people, we talk to them, we meet them, we get to know them. We check out their house, where the animal's going to be living. And many of them have quirks. Some of them are special needs, meaning bonded pairs, seniors, and animals with somewhat behavioral problems that need a lot of time. They all need a lot of time. So we try to get the best adopters that we can to adopt our animals, and we feel that is a way to keep animals out of shelters. We have to do something different because, as I see it, and I've been doing it many years, the numbers are not, we are not bringing less animals to shelters. There's more and more shelters. There's more and more animals that are being left in apartments, being left on the street. There's a big feral community out there, but many of those cats that are in those communities are friendlies that people have let out onto the streets. And it's really not good in a Chicago winter to have a cat out there starving to death. And that's why many of the cats are here, because they've been left in apartments or let on the street where people are moving. So adoption is very important to us, and it's one of the things we talk about on the website. You should go check out the website. There's a lot of information for resources there, and our wonderful animals are there that you can see. And when we adopt to a good family, it makes room for somebody else that wants to come here. Go check out FFRTV.org. And again, please donate to these animals. Donate to the project, the rehab project that we're doing. We want to show other shelters what can be done and what can happen with these wonderful animals. The special cat we have here is Cato. He's a beautiful tabby cat that was at another open door shelter, and he wasn't doing well there. He was hissing and trying to bite. He was very nervous. He was surrendered there. He got neutered and got his shots and a microchip, and the shelter called us to see if we could take him here. He has only been here a couple of weeks. He's transformed. He's in a living space. He's walking around with the other cats. He's enjoying himself. He seems to be much, much happier. He's very approachable and affectionate. And all these cats and dogs need is time and the right environment for them to be enriched. All of them want homes. All of them need to go to great places. But we want to make it as homey and as comfy for them as possible so they can transition into their new homes. And Cato is a perfect example of how that can work. Owner surrender is really on the uprise. We get 20 to 30 calls a day here at Famous Fido, and it is very sad because we can't help every single animal that calls us. We try to do the best we can with intervention. We're trying to talk people down from bringing them to shelters. Recently, we have a whole mass of dogs that are here that we love and we want to desperately get a great home for. There's Kirby, who was tied to a pole, matted to the skin, left out in the rain. We have Bon Bon and Kiki, two Bichon poodles. We call them designer dogs. Designer dogs are definitely one of the animals that gets surrendered, and they were left in an apartment for 4 days, and the neighbor got them out of the apartment. We also have Prince, which is a beautiful white Pomeranian that was surrendered for domestic abuse. Macho and Spike, one of my favorite dogs here, which have been here way too long. The father and son Shih Tzus, and they were, their person passed away, and they have nobody. Nobody in the family wants to take care of them, and we're desperately trying to find them a home that wants a bonded pair. They're lovable, sweet Shih Tzus. And then we also have Kato, which is a beautiful cat that I talked about in past that was left at an open door shelter. And many of these animals are surrendered, and there's always a solution to surrender them. You know, there's always a solution not to surrender them, I mean. And people want to do things too fast and call a shelter when they find animals or they have no mentor or anybody to help them find a rehoming situation or find a solution for themselves. Owner surrender is a big topic, and there's a lot involved with it. There are a lot of people out there calling with pit bulls, cats, chihuahuas, and special needs behavioral problem animals. We really need adopters to come and see these animals and learn about them. So check us out at famousfidorescue.org and make sure that you donate to this cause, because we really need your help for medical, housing, and our renovation program. Hi again. We're talking about interventions. Interventions are extremely important to keep families and animals together. Many people don't have resources, and 3 of the interventions that Famous Fido just helped with one was a beautiful Westie named Chewy, who had one of the worst skin conditions that I've ever seen. His whole body was raw and red. He's on our Facebook page. She did not have the money for the resources to take him ongoing, because this is going to be over a long period of time to get his skin back. And here he's got severe allergies. He had eye problems and ear problems, so he's going to see a specialist on an ongoing basis. The family is definitely wanting to keep the dog, but they had no way to keep the dog without any resources. So now that dog is able to stay in his home and not go to a shelter or a rescue. Another incredible story was a beautiful orange cat named George, who we just talked to last weekend. He kept going to the gentleman's home and sitting by the window all the time. He was very lifeless and lethargic. The man brought him in the house, and he had a huge abscess on his leg, upper respiratory condition, and was in really bad shape. So he had that intervention. He went to the vet and stayed there and had IV fluids and had surgery to get that abscess drained. That intervention alone was about $1,000 to help that cat. And this was a friendly cat that was considered a feral cat, and the gentleman is trying to keep him separated from his other cat, because also the cat has feline leukemia. But he's very active right now. He's really in a great place. He's eating, he's thriving. This cat would be also a prime candidate to go to a shelter and get euthanized. And now he's got possibilities of getting a home, and he's in a safe place until he gets one. The last intervention and story is a woman called here hysterical that she found a cat she has since named it Hades, and she's keeping the cat. A beautiful cat walking out. She's walking, it was in a bush, and it had a belt wrapped around its neck as tight as it could be. We believe it was an abuse situation where somebody was trying to strangle the cat. His eyes were all full of blood. His eyes were popping out. He was battered. He had bruises all over his body, and he had to be taken to the emergency veterinarian. She did not know what to do. It was wee hours of the morning. There was no regular vet open, so the emergency vet saved the cat, and it's back with this wonderful woman who helped it, and she is now keeping the cat. And she did not have the resources to take it to the emergency vet. And that stay was about $3,000. So just with 3 animals to do interventions, we're talking about almost $5,000. What do we do? Not help them when they call? We try to help everybody when they call. It's really a very scary situation, because you're forced with gloom and doom, and where does this animal go? How does it get help? And where are the resources to help it? If there are no resources, and if people like you don't help, we can't help these animals, and we also can't take them all in. So this is the best way that we know to help the community and save many lives. And without your help, we can't take animals like this beautiful dog named Willie. He shouldn't even be a surrendered animal. Become a monthly donor, donate once, help us with our renovation project. We really need your support. The animals need you. Without you, there's no hope. Guys, we're here in the coral room, which is getting a transformation for more enrichment for the cats. As you can see, there's 5 cats in this room, and Boston, who's up in the cat tree right now, is going to be getting a wonderful home with one of our volunteers. He's going to be leaving tomorrow. He came in with 3 other cats, Chloe, Sir George, and Beanie. Sir George and Beanie did pass away. They were here for almost 2 years. They were a bonded pair of 4 cats. Chloe doesn't really necessarily have to be with the other 3, but Boston lost his 2 mates, and he's been very laid back lately. So one of our volunteers is offering and being a wonderful cat mom, and he's going to take him home tomorrow. And we still have Chloe here up for adoption, and Sir Bello, which is that gray Russian blue cat that really needs a great home. And also in this room is Patsy, who was surrendered and could not take care of her cat anymore because she just didn't have the time. So she's kind of shy, and she's starting to come out because this is the first time she's been out of her kennel so she could start working with the cat. She was in here so they could get used to her in a kennel. So now she's out of her kennel, and we are going to hopefully get her a wonderful home. And Simba, big orange tabby here, is just making himself at home and really being enriched by the room and trampling on everybody and exercising and wondering what's to come. So we've got a great room in store for you, a new transformation for the room and a new transformation for the cats to enrich their lives. Please donate to this project. We need a lot of supplies. We need carpentry that's involved with the project, and we're trying to get it done within the next 90 days. So thank you for your support. Thank you for helping the wonderful cats and dogs of Famous Fido and actually listening to me. I know it's hard. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
This is the right place for you. This is the right place for me. This is the right place for dreams. This is the right place to be.